Simple past, time clauses, used to, and would. This is Unit 5 of Grammar and Beyond 2. So the chapter begins with a discussion of time clauses using the simple past. And the good thing is you already know these words. They're after, before, when, as soon as, and until. They're on page 55 through 56 in your book, and it's the same as the list on page 9 through 10. We used these words with simple present already, so you already know what they mean. Remember, time clauses show the order of events. When you have two events, you have the time clause, comma, and then the main clause. So before I got sick, comma, I played in the rain. Or I played in the rain before I got sick, and there's no comma in that one. So what kind of time clauses can you make about your life? My example is, after I moved out of my parents' house, I really wanted a dog. On your note sheet, write down a time clause that you can say about your life. What is an example about your life? The next part of your chapter talks about used to and would. So these words can describe repeated actions, habits, and situations in the past. Does this sound familiar to you? It should, because it's just like the situation for setting up simple past. So you can use would, used to, and would in many of the same sentences that you use simple past for. A simple past sentence is, I often told my husband that I wanted a dog. Told is in the simple past. The same sentence with used to says, I used to tell my husband that I wanted a dog. Used to plus tell. So used to is a simple past of used to. Tell is the base form of the verb. With would, the sentence is, I would tell my husband that I wanted a dog. I would tell. Would is the simple past of would. It's the same form. Tell is the verb in the base form. So when can we use used to? You can use used to in all simple past sentences except for things that happened only once. Example, I was born on September 29th, 1986. You can't say I used to be born on September 29th, 1986, because being born only happens once. You can't use used to. When can we use would? So would can be used in all simple past sentences except for events that happened only once, which is the same rule as used to. Again, you can't say I would be born on September 29th, 1986. You also cannot use would with sentences with stative verbs. Remember, a stative verb is a verb that isn't actually doing any action. So an example is, I loved ice cream. You can't say I would love ice cream. You can't use would with stative verbs. But you can use used to love ice cream. So if you have a stative verb and you want to use used to or would, you have to use used to. So now we're going to do a bunch of examples. So these are statements with used to. An affirmative is I used to want a dog. A negative is I didn't used to want a dog. For this, you have didn't is the simple past of do not. Used to, you have the base form of used to. In the affirmative, it's used to, and the negative is used to. Didn't used to want a dog. But luckily, your book says that using the negative form of used to is very rare. So instead, the negative simple past form is usually used. So instead of saying I didn't use to want a dog, you can say I didn't want a dog. So now it's your turn. On your note sheet, write an affirmative past sentence with used to. Now, write that sentence in the negative form. Finally, rewrite the used to negative into a simple past negative sentence. Which negative form do you prefer? Now we're going to go through more examples. So this part talks about yes or no questions with used to. Did you used to want a dog? Now did has the simple past form of do, so all of the other verbs will be in present tense now. So did you used to want a dog? And again, lucky for you, yes no questions with used to are also rare. So instead, the simple past form is usually used for yes or no questions. So instead of saying, did you used to want a dog, you can simply ask, did you want a dog? Your turn. Again, on your note card, on your note paper, write a yes or no question with used to. Then rewrite the same question with the simple past instead. Which form do you prefer and why? Now we have some more examples. So this is how we form information questions with used to with a subject. Why did you used to want a dog? You have did is a simple past of do, you is the subject, used to is the base form, and want is the base form. The information question with used to without a subject is who used to want a dog? So because you don't have the subject there, you don't you don't need the do form in front of it. So who used to want a dog? Okay, there's no did if there's no subject. Who used to want a dog? So now it's your turn. Write an information question with used to. You may choose to use a subject or not. That's your choice. More examples. So these are statements with would. Affirmative statement is, I would ask for a dog. A negative is, I wouldn't ask for a dog. Again, your book says that using the negative form of would is very rare. So instead, the negative form is usually in the simple past. So instead of saying, I wouldn't ask for a dog, you can say, I didn't ask for a dog. It means the same thing. And again, it's your turn to make some sentences. So first, write an affirmative past sentence with would. Then, write that sentence in the negative form. Finally, rewrite the would negative, into a simple past negative sentence. So which negative form do you prefer? Okay, when you're finished with that, we'll move on to more examples. This is information questions with would with a subject. So why would you ask for a dog? The would is the word that has the simple past, so even though it's the same, would and past and present is the same, that word has the past marker. So why would you is the subject, ask is the base form of the verb. Why would you ask for a dog? The information question with used to without a subject is who would ask for a dog? Again, would is the simple past of would, same form, and ask is the base form of the verb. Who would ask for a dog? Now it's your turn. So write an information question with would. You may choose to use a subject or not. It's your decision. So finally, you might be wondering, why does the information question with would look like this? Why would you ask for a dog? When the information question with used to looks like this. why did you used to ask for a dog? Notice that the why would you doesn't have a do verb, and the why did you used to ask for a dog does have a do verb. And the answer is kind of complicated, and you will learn more about it later, but for now, just know that the word would is part of a group of verbs that are called modal-like verbs. Again, you'll learn more about these later. All it means for now is that these verbs do not receive do when they are put into questions. However, use is not modal-like, it is just a regular verb, so it receives do when put into questions. Okay, so finally, my examples for you are all about dogs, okay? So finally, I used to want a dog, so I got one. Now I have a dog named Zoe, and she is the best. And that's a picture of Zoe playing under the bed with my son Ian and my daughter Tegan. Okay, remember to watch this lots of times and take lots of notes until you understand it, and I'll see you all in class on Wednesday. Thank you.